This six-story structure isn't a factory or workshop. It's the engine of the world's largest LNG-powered container ship. It's so large inside that workers can easily move around in it. This engine drives a propeller as tall as a double-story house. And obviously, since this is the engine of a container ship, it must consume a lot of fuel. But how much? It guzzles 100,000 to 200,000 liters just at startup. Amazingly, its fuel tank can fit 6 Olympic-sized swimming pools, and it holds 20 million liters of liquefied natural gas. Today, you will learn about a mega project whose construction has literally pushed the limits of human engineering. It's the 21st century, but 90% of international trade goods are still transported by sea today. Whether it's the smallest thing like a needle or the largest vehicle. You can gauge this from the fact that according to flight radar, there are always 15 to 20,000 airplanes in the sky. And if we look at marine traffic, at this very moment as this video is being made, an astonishing 308,000 cargo ships are traveling around the world. When it comes to the size of these cargo ships, we humans have already built the largest ships. Even larger ships can be built, but then they won't be able to pass through major canals like the Suez and Panama Canal. So now the competition is not about building bigger ships, but about building more and more fuel-efficient ships. And that's exactly what the French shipping company, CMA-CGM, did. They wanted to build the world's largest eco-friendly ship that runs not on fuels like diesel or HFO, but on LNG. That is, the liquid form of natural gas. This ship is 400 meters long, about the length of 4 football fields lined up. Its width is 61 meters, and its height is taller than the Qutb Minar. The total weight of this ship is equivalent to 7 Eiffel Towers, or 11,500 African elephants. That is 70,000 tons, and that's without any containers. A total of 23,112 containers can fit in this ship. Imagine their capacity from the fact that if these containers are placed in a single line, they would form a queue 150 kilometers long. But the real challenge was not just to build this massive ship. CMA-CGM had to build 9 such ships, and that too in just 2 years. For this task, a shipyard in Hong Kong was chosen, which is 4 kilometers long and looks like a small town. Here, 6,000 workers from around the world work day and night, and each one is given their own task. But the question is, when a ship normally takes 18 months to complete, how will 9 ships be made in 2 years? The straightforward answer is that the ships will be built in pieces, called blocks. The ship's foundation uses steel sheets so they don't rust. For one ship, 12,660 steel sheets were needed. These sheets were cut with a special laser being heated to 18,000 degrees Celsius, about 3 times the sun's surface temperature. This laser beam cut steel like a knife through butter. For one ship, a total of 880 kilometers of steel strips were cut. Then these sheets were joined to form blocks. These blocks can range from the size of a room to as tall as a multi-story building. And the amazing thing is that these blocks already have pipes, wiring, and diesel fittings installed. This is the rear part of the ship, which is made by combining 5 blocks. Its weight is 790 tons, equivalent to 2 train engines. 2 joint cranes were used just to lift this part. It was placed with extreme precision on the ship's existing structure. And remember, even a 1 millimeter mistake can ruin months of hard work. Once the blocks are in place, it's time for an endless series of welding. Astonishingly, a total of 1,250 kilometers of welding was done on a single ship. If this welding is laid out in a single line, it would start from Karachi and end at Lahore. After welding, each joint was meticulously checked. because the sea's merciless waves don't forgive even the slightest weakness. So far, we've just told the story of building the hull and blocks. The real marvel is in its engine. This ship will not run on traditional oils and diesel fuel. It is designed to run on LNG, that is, liquefied natural gas. This is a very big environmental victory, because LNG releases 99% less sulfur dioxide, 91% less air pollution, and 20% less carbon dioxide compared to oil. This is a significant step toward making sea travel cleaner. However, if CMA-CGM wants to bring this revolution to the shipping industry, they will have to pay a heavy price. The biggest issue here was storing LNG in liquid form. So, a fuel tank that keeps LNG cold down to -161 degrees Celsius. If it heats up or the fuel tank's insulation is not good, the LNG will turn into gas and expand, and then it's game over. This ocean-going ship has to make the long journey from Asia to Europe without refueling. For this, the LNG fuel tank also has to be very large. But how large? Astonishingly so. This is the largest LNG fuel tank to date, with a volume of 18,000 cubic meters. It is so large inside that it can fit 6 Olympic swimming pools. In total, it can hold about 20 million liters of LNG. But the real challenge is not building such a large fuel tank inside the ship, but protecting this fuel tank from heat. It's like building one giant thermos inside the ship, as big as 6 swimming pools. It took the company about 9 months to build this fuel tank. Several layers of insulating material were applied to the walls of the tank to protect it from external heat. After this comes the most crucial stage, leak testing, because it is very important for this tank to be airtight. For this, the workers used a simple method. Soapy water was applied to the joints, and then a glass container was placed over them, and all the air inside was evacuated with the help of a compressor. If the joint is weak, outside air will pass through it due to the vacuum, and you will see bubbles forming. In this way, the leaking joints were identified and repaired. After the leak test, the final layer of insulation was applied on top. It is a special steel membrane, only 1.2 millimeters thick. When -161 degrees cold LNG hits it, the steel shrinks. This web design allows the steel to shrink and expand without breaking. And you will be surprised to know that this technology is also used in space stations. After 8 months of hard work, this technological masterpiece, the world's largest thermos, is finally ready. Now, let's move on to its engine. This is the largest natural gas-powered engine ever built. It is 20 meters tall, equivalent to a 6-story building. This engine, weighing more than 2,000 tons, produces 85,000 horsepower. It is so large that maintenance staff can walk inside it. Bringing this engine to the shipyard was a big challenge in itself. It was transported to the shipyard in 6 different pieces. Its most crucial part is this crankshaft. That is, the shaft that transmits the engine's power to the propeller. The weight of this single crankshaft alone is 220 tons, for which a special remote-controlled platform with 140 wheels was used for transportation, and then it was installed with millimeter accuracy. This engine contains 12 pistons with a diameter of 1 meter, and this crankshaft is attached to these pistons. This engine will drive the propeller mounted on the back side of the ship. It was cast in one piece. The propeller weighs 92 tons and is 10 meters or 33 feet tall. The engine's power will be transferred to this propeller through a propeller shaft. It is very important for this propeller shaft to be perfectly straight, because if there is even a slight bend, it will cause vibrations at high RPM. To do this, a special blue dye is applied to the propeller shaft and it is fitted inside the propeller. When taken out, it is revealed which part of the shaft touched the inner surface of the propeller. This test shows the engineering team the areas where there was no contact and where more pressure was applied, and then adjustments are made accordingly. When the entire structure of the ship was ready, it was time to protect it from the marine environment, meaning to paint it. The salty seawater, waves, and friction eat away at the steel, and due to the rough surface, fuel consumption increases. Therefore, a special paint was applied to it. One ship used approximately 1 million liters of paint, and the total area was 950,000 square meters, which in simple terms is double the area of Vatican City. After this, the highest and last block was placed, which is called the command bridge. This is the brain of the ship where the captain and crew together control it. In this 400-meter-long ship, a system called Smart Eyes is installed all around, which provides the captain with a 360-degree view while sitting on the bridge. After a year and a half of hard work, the first ship, Jacques, was finally ready. During the 15 days of rigorous sea trials, 11 systems were tested, the engine speed was tested, an emergency braking test was performed, and the navigation system was also tested. During this time, the entire structure was also checked for leakage, and most importantly, its anchor was deployed and checked. As for this giant ship's anchor, just one link of its chain weighs 300 kilograms, and the entire chain weighs as much as 60 African elephants. Finally, the 15-day sea trials were successfully passed. The engineering team's goal of creating low-carbon emission ships finally became a reality. The shipyard won the race against time. One after another, 9 such container ships were prepared in record time. This is not the story of building this mountain of steel, but the story of the ingenuity and round-the-clock hard work of thousands of workers. These ocean-going ships are now ready to rule the world's seas, and that too in a much cleaner manner than ever before. These mega ships are proof that if a person is determined to do something, they can even set steel mountains in motion in merciless seas. I hope you all will like and share this video. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next amazing video.